Hello friends. Have you ever met someone and felt instantly at ease, like you've known them your whole life? Or maybe, despite your best efforts, you just can't seem to vibe with certain people? What if the stars had something to say about that? Today, we're diving deep into the heart of the Zodiac to explore Taurus and friendship compatibility, not just who they click with, but why. Whether you're a loyal Taurus yourself or just trying to understand that unshakably calm friend who never seems to flinch, we've got you covered. So grab a snack, Taurus would, get cozy, and let's find out which signs are truly Taurus's ride or die, and which ones might just test their legendary patience. Taurus plus Aries. At first glance, Taurus and Aries seem like they're playing completely different games. Taurus is the calm, collected strategist, slow to act but steady as a rock. Aries, on the other hand, is the impulsive daredevil who charges forward without checking the map. It's the classic tortoise and hare scenario, except in this case, the tortoise refuses to speed up, and the hare thinks maps are for weaklings. You'd expect these two to clash more than connect, but something fascinating happens when these opposites meet. Taurus values stability above all. They love comfort, peace, and predictability. Their ideal day? A cozy blanket, familiar faces, and knowing exactly what comes next. Aries, meanwhile, thrives on novelty. They want movement, adrenaline, challenges. Their best day involves skydiving, starting a new project, and possibly arguing with a stranger on the internet for fun. To Taurus, Aries can feel reckless. To Aries, Taurus might seem stuck. But if these two can understand each other's languages, they unlock something powerful: balance. Aries brings a raw energy to the friendship that Taurus secretly admires, even if they don't always admit it. Aries has a way of shaking Taurus out of their comfort zone. They'll suggest spontaneous road trips, random restaurant hopping, or taking a chance on something Taurus would normally overthink to death. With Aries by their side, Taurus learns that not everything has to be planned to be perfect. They start to embrace the idea that joy can be found in chaos, in moderation. On the flip side, Taurus gives Aries something most people can't: a safe space to land. Aries is fiery and sometimes explosive, but Taurus isn't rattled easily. Instead of reacting with drama or panic, Taurus remains calm, a quiet, grounding presence that says, "You're okay. Let's figure it out." Aries may roll their eyes at Taurus's slow decision-making, but deep down, they find it reassuring. Taurus doesn't just react, they respond. They offer loyalty, practical wisdom, and the kind of unwavering support that even the boldest Aries secretly craves. Of course, it's not always smooth sailing. Aries' impulsiveness can absolutely drive Taurus up a wall. From forgotten plans to sudden changes of heart, Aries' spontaneity sometimes feels like irresponsibility. And Taurus' love of routine can make Aries feel trapped or bored. Conflict tends to arise when Aries pushes too hard, and Taurus digs in even deeper. Neither is quick to back down. Aries fights with fire, Taurus with stone. If they don't learn to bend, they'll break. But when they do bend, when they learn to laugh at their differences and appreciate what the other brings, the friendship transforms. Aries brings color and motion into Taurus's world. Taurus provides stability and meaning in Aries' journey. They learn from each other in ways few other signs can. It's not about changing one another, it's about evolving together, becoming better through contrast. This friendship isn't just doable, it's electric. Imagine the spark of fire hitting rich, fertile earth. At first, you get a little smoke. But given time, care, and mutual respect, you also get growth. You get a bond that can withstand storms, boredom, setbacks, and spontaneous chaos. You get a friendship that moves and grounds at the same time. One that reminds Taurus to leap, and Aries to breathe. So yes, Taurus and Aries are wildly different. But sometimes, different isn't a weakness. Sometimes, it's the exact chemistry that makes something unforgettable. Taurus plus Taurus. Two Tauruses walk into a room, and the energy instantly drops to a warm, grounding hum. There's no chaos, no rush, no showy introductions, just two people instinctively drifting toward the coziest corners of the space, like magnets drawn to comfort. It's as if they've known each other forever, even if they just met 5 minutes ago. That's the magic of two bulls meeting, an unspoken understanding of what really matters in life, peace, trust, and maybe a well-made charcuterie board. When these two come together as friends, there's an effortless kind of rhythm. They don't have to constantly entertain each other or prove anything. There's no pressure to be on, they can sit side by side in silence and still feel completely connected. They'll share snacks, playlists, home decor tips, and long-winded rants about why switching laundry detergents was a terrible idea. It's a friendship that moves slow but sinks deep roots, with both people valuing consistency, loyalty, and that warm, dependable presence that feels like home. Both Tauruses are ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and sensuality, which means this duo tends to bond over life's finer pleasures. We're talking hours spent cooking, wine tasting, curating Pinterest boards, or turning errands into mini luxury experiences. Their shared appreciation for aesthetics and comfort makes them excellent at creating beautiful, calming spaces, and excellent at avoiding unnecessary drama. You won't catch this pair starting fights. They'd rather diffuse tension with a well-timed snack and a perfectly crafted blanket fort. But here's where it gets tricky, these are two fixed signs. That means when conflict does arise, it's not pretty. Neither Taurus likes to budge. They both want things their way, and neither is particularly fond of compromise. So when they disagree, whether it's about where to eat, what movie to watch, or whose turn it is to host, it can feel like an immovable object meeting an equally immovable object. No one wants to blink first. The silent treatments can be legendary. The passive-aggressive, "well, I thought we agreed," texts. Inevitable. And it's not just about everyday decisions. Emotionally, both Tauruses can be guarded. They tend to process feelings internally, and they rarely open up unless they feel completely safe. This can lead to standstills in communication where both friends feel upset but neither is willing to speak first. The key to navigating this? Developing mutual trust and vulnerability. Once they realize they're both coming from the same place, a deep need for security, they can begin to let their guard down. But when this friendship is nurtured with patience, respect, and maybe a little help from scheduled decision-making, you pick the restaurant this week, I'll pick next time, it becomes one of the most grounded, loyal, and nourishing friendships in the zodiac. These are the friends who remember your birthday without a calendar reminder, who'll help you move house, but only after they've had a full breakfast, and who will stick by your side for years, through every high and low. Together, two Tauruses create an environment where growth is slow but steady. There's no pressure to change overnight or keep up with the world's fast pace. Instead, they build a friendship like a well-tended garden, one that takes time to flourish, but when it does, it's deeply rooted and nearly impossible to tear down. They know each other's needs without asking. They understand the value of space, of presence, of a quiet kind of loyalty that doesn't need to be shouted to be real. The beauty of this pairing is how much it allows each Taurus to be fully themselves. There's no performance, no exhausting small talk, just authenticity. And in a world that often demands so much, that kind of connection is a rare and precious gift. Whether they're sitting on a porch in matching robes or silently shopping for candles in the home goods aisle, these two bring out the very best in each other, calm, comfort, and an unshakable sense of belonging. So yes, two bulls can lock horns. But if they learn when to stand firm and when to soften, they create a bond that is as timeless as it is tender. A friendship built on shared values, mutual respect, and a whole lot of snacks. Taurus plus Gemini. Imagine trying to ground a kite in a hurricane with a garden shovel. Welcome to the world of Taurus and Gemini friendship. One is the steadfast rock of the zodiac, firmly planted in comfort and familiarity. The other? A breezy, brainy whirlwind of ideas, curiosity, and let's try something new. Gemini is all about the next thing, the next laugh, the next adventure, while Taurus would prefer to finish their coffee in peace before even thinking about leaving the house. At first glance, this friendship looks like a non-starter. But if both are willing to learn, something surprisingly beautiful can bloom from the chaos. Let's start with Taurus. They crave predictability, routine, and depth. They like knowing where they stand, what the plan is, and why on earth someone would switch phone plans for no reason. Gemini, however, is the person who switches phone plans because it felt right, and then moves to a new city on a Tuesday, just because. Their mental energy is fast, scattered, and buzzing with options. To Taurus, this can be overwhelming. It's like watching someone flip through 75 TV channels without ever choosing a show. Stability? Gemini barely knows her. But here's the twist: at first, Taurus finds Gemini's energy intoxicating. It's like watching lightning dance. Gemini's humor, wit, and endless curiosity are fun and refreshing. Suddenly, life feels a bit more exciting. Taurus, who tends to settle into routines like old armchairs, feels their world expand. Gemini can introduce Taurus to new books, fresh perspectives, random trivia about Norwegian black metal bands, and possibly 5 new hobbies in 1 week. It's stimulating, a little stressful, and completely captivating, until it isn't. Because eventually, the Taurus starts to crave stillness again. The constant motion, constant chatter, and lack of clear emotional grounding can wear on them. Taurus wants substance, loyalty, and the kind of communication that isn't just clever, it's meaningful. Gemini, for all their brilliance, sometimes avoids emotional depth by keeping things light, detached, and always moving. This can make Taurus feel emotionally bypassed, even invisible. They don't want just words, they want presence, consistency, and the sense that this friendship means something real. Meanwhile, Gemini might start to feel boxed in. Taurus's love of tradition and repetition, same coffee shop, same route to work, same Spotify playlist, can feel suffocating. Gemini lives for variety and mental stimulation, and Taurus's slower pace can feel like quicksand. When they suggest something spontaneous, Taurus might shut it down with a disapproving glare and a list of reasons why it won't work. This makes Gemini feel judged, misunderstood, and underappreciated for what they do bring: adaptability, creativity, and vibrant energy. And yet, when they meet in the middle, something magical happens. Taurus can be the grounding force that helps Gemini focus. With Taurus's help, Gemini learns to slow down, appreciate the moment, and truly feel rather than just think. Taurus teaches Gemini the value of being still, of sticking with something, or someone, long enough to see it grow. They show them that consistency isn't the enemy of excitement, but rather the soil that allows excitement to blossom into something lasting. On the flip side, Gemini helps Taurus break free from their fear of change. They inject a sense of adventure into the bull's life. With Gemini around, Taurus might actually try sushi for the first time, book a spontaneous road trip, or laugh their way through a karaoke night they'd never admit they enjoyed. Gemini teaches Taurus that life doesn't have to be perfect or predictable to be beautiful. Sometimes, the most memorable moments come from saying yes instead of maybe later. The biggest challenge in this friendship is communication. Taurus communicates with action and loyalty. They show up, they stay, they do what they say. Gemini communicates through language, ideas, and questions, lots and lots of questions. They may talk circles around Taurus, who just wants to get to the point. Misunderstandings can arise if Taurus reads Gemini's flakiness as disinterest or if Gemini sees Taurus's silence as disapproval. They'll need to translate each other's emotional languages with patience and empathy. But here's the thing: when both signs are committed to understanding each other, their differences become their greatest strengths. Gemini helps Taurus avoid stagnation. Taurus helps Gemini avoid burnout. Together, they can build a friendship that's both exciting and reliable, playful and profound. It just takes a little effort, a lot of listening, and probably a shared Google Calendar to keep up. Taurus plus Cancer. This is the friendship equivalent of a warm blanket, fresh-baked cookies, and your favorite comfort movie playing in the background. Taurus and Cancer just get each other, in that rare, unspoken way that feels almost fated. There's no need for dramatic introductions or flashy bonding moments. From the very beginning, this connection feels safe, genuine, and grounding. They're both homebodies at heart, drawn to emotional warmth, quiet environments, and the kind of loyalty that never wavers. Taurus, ruled by Venus, brings sensual calm and earthy stability to the table. Cancer, ruled by the Moon, brings deep emotional intelligence, intuition, and nurturing energy. Together, these two create a perfectly balanced emotional atmosphere. Taurus offers the steady hand when Cancer is overwhelmed by their ever-changing moods, while Cancer offers the emotional softness that helps Taurus open up and feel cared for in a way they don't usually allow. It's mutual protection. Taurus shields the heart, Cancer nurtures the soul. One of the most beautiful things about this pairing is how naturally their rhythms align. Neither of them needs the high-speed social life of more extroverted signs. They both find joy in the little things, cooking dinner together, wandering through a farmer's market, spending Saturday nights making vision boards, or simply rewatching old sitcoms in sweatpants. There's an unspoken agreement between them that silence is sacred and that shared space doesn't always have to be filled with conversation. Sometimes, being present is enough. But this isn't just a cozy aesthetic, the emotional bond runs deep. Both Taurus and Cancer are incredibly loyal once they've committed to a friendship. They don't give their trust easily, but when it's earned, it's nearly impossible to break. They're the kind of friends who will remember your grandmother's birthday, stock your favorite snacks without asking, and check in on you even when you're pretending you're fine. Taurus may not always have the right words, but they show up. Cancer may cry through the process, but they never let you go it alone. When life gets messy, as it always does, these two are there for each other in the most grounded, no-nonsense way. Cancer's moods can sometimes feel overwhelming to outsiders, but Taurus doesn't flinch. Their calm, stable energy is exactly what Cancer needs when they're spinning emotionally. On the other hand, Taurus can sometimes bottle things up or withdraw under stress, and Cancer's emotional intuition gently draws them out without pushing. They provide each other with exactly what the other lacks, in ways that feel natural, not forced. Of course, no friendship is without its challenges. Taurus's stubborn streak can frustrate the more emotionally adaptable Cancer, who tends to shift and flow with changing feelings. Taurus may dig in their heels during disagreements, while Cancer, ruled by emotion, might retreat into a shell of silence and hurt. The danger here lies in unspoken tension. Both signs have a tendency to avoid confrontation in favor of preserving peace. Over time, that avoidance can lead to passive-aggressive communication or quiet emotional distance. But the key to navigating that friction lies in trust. Once Cancer feels emotionally secure and Taurus knows they won't be emotionally manipulated, they can have honest conversations without fear of abandonment or judgment. They'll learn how to disagree while still holding space for each other's emotional truths, Taurus with their steady logic, and Cancer with their heartfelt insight. It's not about winning the argument, it's about preserving the bond. There's also an incredible creative potential when these two team up. Taurus brings the aesthetic sense and practical know-how, while Cancer brings emotional storytelling and intuitive understanding. They might start a cozy business together, a bakery, a home decor brand, a podcast about feelings and food, or just spend countless hours curating the ultimate home space. Whatever they create, it's going to be infused with warmth, heart, and serious attention to detail. This is the kind of friendship that doesn't burn hot and fast, it grows slow and steady, like a well-tended garden. It's built on years of shared experiences, thoughtful gestures, mutual reliability, and a deep emotional knowing. It's the friend who shows up with soup when you're sick, the one who never forgets your comfort movie, the one who gives you space when you need it but never truly leaves your side. Taurus and Cancer may not be the loudest or most unpredictable pair in the room, but they're the ones you can count on, always. Their friendship feels like coming home after a long day. Safe. Familiar. Deeply nourishing. The kind of connection that only strengthens with time, growing richer, more meaningful, and more unshakable with each passing season. Taurus plus Leo. When the bull meets the lion, you're not just looking at a friendship, you're witnessing a power dynamic waiting to either blossom into mutual admiration or collapse into a regal standoff. Taurus and Leo are both fixed signs, which means they come equipped with unwavering opinions, strong convictions, and an unshakable sense of pride. But they express it in very different ways. Leo roars and expects applause. Taurus stays silent and expects to be understood. Can they share the spotlight without knocking it over? That's where the real story begins. Leo is ruled by the sun, bright, expressive, radiant. Their energy is magnetic, and they rarely enter a room unnoticed. They thrive on appreciation, admiration, and the subtle drama of being adored. Taurus, ruled by Venus, is the quiet aesthete. They love beauty too, but prefer it in candlelit dinners, soft cashmere throws, and the silent joy of a job well done. Leo's attention-seeking tendencies might initially puzzle the grounded Taurus, who sees public displays as unnecessary, even a little exhausting. Meanwhile, Leo might misinterpret Taurus's calm demeanor as indifference, or worse, emotional aloofness. But beyond the surface, both signs are deeply loyal and secretly sensitive. They take friendship seriously, very seriously. Taurus, while not overly expressive, shows up in practical ways, thoughtful gifts, consistency, and solid presence. Leo shows love through grand gestures, loud support, and emotional warmth. At their best, this dynamic becomes complementary rather than competitive. Taurus offers Leo stability and grounding, a quiet haven away from the constant need to perform. Leo, in turn, invites Taurus to embrace their inner sparkle, encouraging them to take center stage and stop hiding their brilliance under a well-worn flannel blanket. Their shared love for the finer things in life also creates a strong bond. These two know how to indulge. Whether it's a weekend getaway to a luxury spa, an impeccably curated charcuterie board, or just an expensive candle that smells like emotional balance, both Taurus and Leo have an appreciation for high-quality experiences. The difference? Taurus wants to enjoy these things privately, slowly, and with people they trust. Leo wants to enjoy them loudly, preferably with photos and applause. If Taurus can accept Leo's flair, and Leo can respect Taurus's need for peace, they'll discover they both value the same things, just in different packages. The challenge in this friendship is ego, and is their ego. Leo needs praise. Not flattery, but genuine recognition. They want to be seen and admired for who they are and what they bring. Taurus, on the other hand, wants to be appreciated in quieter, more grounded ways. They don't need a standing ovation, they just want loyalty, respect, and zero chaos. When Leo feels unappreciated, they get loud. When Taurus feels disrespected, they shut down. If they don't learn to communicate early on, the friendship can quickly spiral into misunderstandings, passive-aggressive jabs, or dramatic exits worthy of a soap opera. But when they do talk, really talk, they find that their core values aren't all that different. Both crave loyalty, trust, and a sense of importance in the lives of the people they care about. They want to be chosen, remembered, and prioritized. Taurus expresses this through action. Leo expresses it through emotion and performance. Once they realize they're just speaking two dialects of the same language, things start to click. The key is mutual appreciation. Taurus must understand that Leo isn't vain, they're vulnerable. Their desire for attention often stems from a need to be loved loudly and without hesitation. Leo, in turn, must realize that Taurus isn't cold, they're cautious. They take time to open up, and when they do, their loyalty is unshakable. Learning to meet each other halfway means Leo tones down the drama when Taurus is overwhelmed, and Taurus steps out of their comfort zone when Leo needs support that's a little more expressive. And let's talk about stubbornness. These two are both champions at standing their ground. When a disagreement arises, neither is quick to apologize. Pride can get in the way of progress. If neither is willing to take the first step, the friendship can get stuck in a loop of silent treatment and emotional distance. The breakthrough comes when they remember what they admire in each other. Taurus respects Leo's courage and heart, and Leo values Taurus's dependability and strength. Leading with that respect instead of ego can shift everything. So yes, the bull and the lion can absolutely share the spotlight, but only when they learn to adjust the lighting for each other. It's not about taking center stage. It's about standing side by side, each shining in their own way, with enough room for both pride and peace. And when they find that balance, the friendship becomes iconic. Taurus plus Virgo. This is what happens when structure meets soul. Taurus and Virgo form one of the most effortlessly harmonious friendships in the entire zodiac. There's no flashy entrance, no whirlwind bonding moment, just a steady, unspoken understanding that builds over time like a perfectly poured cup of coffee. Both signs are earth elements, which means they instinctively speak the same language, practical, grounded, and quietly loyal. If you're looking for drama or chaos, keep walking. This duo is all about simplicity, security, and the slow, beautiful build of real trust. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, sensuality, and comfort, while Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the planet of thought, detail, and communication. This combination results in a uniquely balanced energy where Taurus adds warmth and appreciation for life's pleasures, and Virgo brings sharp insight and a deep desire to make things better, whether it's a messy closet or a messy situation. Together, they create a friendship that not only feels emotionally safe, but also incredibly productive. These two could literally bond over organizing a spice rack, and genuinely enjoy every second of it. What makes this friendship so durable is their shared appreciation for stability. Neither Taurus nor Virgo enjoys surprises, flaky behavior, or anything that disrupts their internal peace. Taurus finds immense comfort in Virgo's consistency, thoughtfulness, and emotional intelligence. Virgo, in turn, is soothed by Taurus's calm demeanor, loyalty, and reliability. Taurus doesn't overreact, and Virgo doesn't overlook details. They complement each other without trying to change one another, a rare and precious trait in any relationship. They also share an incredibly strong work ethic. These are the friends who plan weekends around both fun and functionality. They're the ones who will go to the farmer's market in the morning, reorganize a closet in the afternoon, and still find time to unwind with a home-cooked meal and deep conversation at night. There's a rhythm to their friendship that feels comforting and dependable, like seasons that always show up on time. They don't need constant excitement to stay close. Their bond is built on rituals, routines, and a mutual respect for each other's time and energy. Where Taurus is more indulgent and emotionally steady, Virgo is more analytical and observant. Virgo tends to worry more, analyze more, and critique more, sometimes too much. But Taurus has a way of calming those spirals. With their soothing presence, Taurus helps Virgo exhale and realize that perfection isn't always the point. Sometimes, good enough is enough. Virgo, in return, helps Taurus stay sharp, organized, and health-conscious. Virgo gently nudges the bull toward self-improvement without being preachy, while Taurus helps Virgo slow down and appreciate the moment. However, the one area where these two might hit a snag is in emotional expression. Taurus tends to internalize feelings, processing things slowly and responding only when they feel it's safe. Virgo, while thoughtful, can sometimes intellectualize emotions or focus on problem-solving rather than just being with the emotion. This can lead to small moments of disconnect, especially when one is upset and the other doesn't notice, or notices, but tries to fix it instead of holding space. The solution lies in their shared value of communication and respect. When they sit down and talk openly, the misunderstandings usually dissolve. Another potential pitfall: stubbornness, albeit in different forms. Taurus digs in when they feel threatened or rushed, preferring to stay the course rather than change direction. Virgo becomes resistant when they feel criticized or when details don't go as planned. The key here is patience and remembering that they're on the same team. As long as they stay focused on the fact that they both want harmony, not victory, they'll find their way back to understanding every time. This is a friendship that grows stronger with time. There's no need for fireworks, constant validation, or emotional theatrics. Instead, it's about the quiet power of being there, always. Whether it's helping each other move, planning a budget, or just sharing the same couch in peaceful silence, Taurus and Virgo bring out the best in one another. They know how to show up, how to listen, and how to hold space in ways that most people never even notice, but that mean everything. Together, they are the ultimate example of grounded friendship. They build their bond like a well-crafted home, strong foundation, clean lines, meaningful details. No wasted words, no wasted time. It's about presence, precision, and peace. Taurus offers Virgo a world where rest is sacred and joy isn't guilty. Virgo offers Taurus a world where growth is exciting and intentional. Taurus plus Libra. This is where grounded elegance meets airy charm, the bull and the scales, both ruled by Venus, yet standing on opposite ends of the zodiac's personality spectrum. Taurus is earth, steady, sensual, and dependable. Libra is air, breezy, intellectual, and socially attuned. They're both lovers of beauty, but their definitions of it are wildly different. For Taurus, beauty is tactile, soft fabrics, rich meals, candlelit ambience. For Libra, it's philosophical, symmetry, aesthetic balance, the poetry of human interaction. When these two find each other, it's like watching a classic painting and a modern sculpture try to live in the same gallery. If they learn to curate the space together, the result can be breathtaking. Taurus brings a strong, unshakable presence to the friendship. They're deeply loyal, grounded, and thrive in calm, consistent environments. Their ideal Friday night: a dinner at their favorite restaurant with a trusted friend, followed by dessert and maybe a rewatch of a comfort film. Libra, on the other hand, is much more socially fluid. They're constantly tuned into the energies around them, craving variety, light conversation, and environments that stimulate both the eyes and the mind. Taurus may find this exhausting at times, while Libra might see Taurus as overly cautious or even, dare we say, boring. But what's happening beneath the surface is a dynamic exchange of values that, if handled with care, can lead to a truly enriching friendship. Where Taurus is slow to trust and loyal for life, Libra builds quick rapport with almost anyone, but often struggles to go deep. Libra loves people and thrives on connection, but their airy nature can sometimes skim the surface. This is where Taurus quietly steps in and shows Libra the beauty of emotional depth. In return, Libra teaches Taurus that not all connection has to come with the weight of permanence. Sometimes, a light conversation at a party or a spontaneous outing can be its own kind of meaningful. They help each other break out of their bubbles, Taurus from their routines, Libra from their indecision. And yes, indecision is a big one. Libra is famous for seeing every side of every situation, which can be a gift in intellectual circles but a nightmare when someone just needs to choose a restaurant. Taurus, a creature of habit, knows what they like and sees no need to change what works. When planning anything, this contrast can cause tension. Libra wants to weigh every option, Taurus wants to just go to the same cozy spot as last time and be done with it. If they can learn to take turns leading and letting go, they'll find a rhythm. Taurus offers grounding, and Libra provides flexibility. When they allow those roles to play off each other, magic happens. Aesthetically, this friendship is next level. Both signs love surrounding themselves with beautiful things. Whether it's art, fashion, music, or architecture, Taurus and Libra could spend hours browsing galleries, designing dream homes, or dissecting film scores. Taurus will gravitate toward warm tones and textures that feel like home. Libra will seek harmony and form, always striving for balance and style. Together, they're the duo who could casually redesign a living room and somehow end up on Pinterest's front page. Their combined Venusian taste is a vibe all its own, one part luxe comfort, one part editorial spread. But let's talk conflict, because it will happen. Taurus can be stubborn and resistant to change, while Libra avoids conflict like it's a pothole on a runway. Taurus might dig their heels in during disagreements, expecting loyalty and emotional accountability. Libra, uncomfortable with emotional tension, may try to smooth things over with charm or sidestep the issue altogether. This avoidance can drive Taurus up a very well-decorated wall. If these two want their friendship to last, they'll have to face uncomfortable moments together. Taurus will need to soften, and Libra will need to speak up, even when it's awkward. Underneath it all, though, both Taurus and Libra share a desire for peace and connection. They both long for harmonious relationships, just through different lenses. Taurus wants emotional and material security, while Libra wants interpersonal harmony and aesthetic flow. Their differences may cause friction, but their shared core, a love of beauty, balance, and connection, is what makes this friendship truly worth the effort. The challenge lies in accepting that beauty doesn't always come from symmetry. Sometimes, it's the contrast that makes the composition compelling. When these two learn to celebrate their opposing strengths, Taurus's unwavering loyalty and grounded wisdom, and Libra's social brilliance and intellectual grace, they form a bond that's both comforting and expansive. Taurus offers Libra a sense of emotional stability and presence. Taurus plus Scorpio. This is not a casual friendship, this is soul-deep, all-in, ride-or-die territory. Taurus and Scorpio sit on opposite sides of the zodiac wheel, which astrologically makes them polarities, but instead of clashing, these two often find themselves magnetically drawn to each other. There's an intensity here from the very beginning, one that feels both comforting and slightly dangerous. It's not the kind of friendship that starts with small talk or surface-level bonding. No, this connection starts with a look, a vibe, a subtle recognition that something profound is about to unfold. Taurus, ruled by Venus, is earthy, sensual, and grounded. They move through life deliberately, taking their time to trust, to feel, to connect. They crave stability and resist change unless absolutely necessary. Scorpio, ruled by Pluto and traditionally Mars, is deep, emotional, and constantly transforming. They feel everything at full volume, but rarely show their cards. They, too, value loyalty and consistency, but they hide their need behind a protective shell of mystery and emotional control. At first glance, they couldn't be more different, but that's what makes this friendship so powerful. They challenge each other in all the right ways. From the start, both Taurus and Scorpio instinctively sense that this isn't just another friendship. It's layered, complex, intimate, even if unspoken. Taurus feels the depth in Scorpio and respects it, even if they don't fully understand it. Scorpio, in turn, recognizes the unwavering loyalty in Taurus, the kind that's earned, not given. There's a quiet power exchange here. Taurus offers Scorpio a safe, non-judgmental space to be vulnerable, while Scorpio helps Taurus access deeper emotional truths they may otherwise avoid. This is the friend who sees you completely, and still chooses you. The emotional connection between them is fierce and private. These are the friends who don't need constant communication to stay close. They might go weeks without talking, but pick up the phone one day and dive right into the depths like no time passed at all. They share secrets others will never hear. Inside jokes. Glances that say more than words ever could. There's a sense of emotional loyalty that runs thicker than blood. Betrayal is rare, but if it happens, forgiveness is even rarer. Both signs have long memories and high expectations for trust. They don't offer it easily, but once it's there, it's sacred. Of course, intensity has its challenges. Scorpio's emotional depth can sometimes be overwhelming for steady Taurus, who prefers calm waters to emotional tsunamis. Scorpio, in return, can become frustrated with Taurus's resistance to change or emotional expression. Taurus may seem too grounded, too predictable, too unwilling to dig into the messy emotional territory where Scorpio thrives. And if either one feels slighted, even slightly, the result can be a power struggle that simmers beneath the surface until it explodes. Neither backs down easily. Both hold grudges like Olympic athletes. That said, these two signs are incredibly capable of transformation, together. Scorpio can learn from Taurus how to sit in stillness, to appreciate stability, and to rest without guilt. Taurus can learn from Scorpio how to confront uncomfortable truths, to trust their instincts, and to embrace emotional complexity without fear. When they're open to learning from one another, their friendship becomes alchemical. It doesn't just survive change, it thrives on it. Another beautiful aspect of this pairing is their shared dislike of superficiality. Neither has time for fake friends, empty conversations, or hollow gestures. They want the real thing, and they want it in everything. This makes their friendship incredibly rich. They go deep fast, skip the small talk, and dive straight into what really matters. Conversations might range from the meaning of life to how to fix a broken heart to whether loyalty is even real in today's world. Nothing is off limits, and everything is treated with care and sincerity. There's also a surprising amount of humor between them, but it's the kind of humor only they really understand. Dry, dark, clever. It's not for public consumption, but when they're together, it's non-stop. They can sit in a room without speaking, just exchanging looks and smirks, and still feel like they've had a full conversation. This private world they build is part of what makes the friendship feel so exclusive, even sacred. But again, tread carefully. If trust is broken, it's a long, slow road back, if it ever comes at all. Both Taurus and Scorpio value integrity over apology. Words are cheap, actions matter. Rebuilding trust requires time, consistency, and a willingness to go deeper than ever before. But when maintained with honesty and mutual respect, this friendship becomes one of the strongest, most transformative bonds in the zodiac. Taurus plus Sagittarius. This friendship isn't a walk in the park, unless that park is on a cliffside in a foreign country with no cell service and one of them forgot to wear the right shoes. When Taurus meets Sagittarius, it's a true case of opposites in motion. Taurus is the immovable object, steady, grounded, ruled by routine and the simple joys of life. Sagittarius is the unstoppable force, wild, spontaneous, and driven by an almost existential need to roam. One wants a hammock under the stars in their own backyard, the other wants to chase shooting stars across continents. And yet, despite how wildly different their worlds are, something fascinating happens when they collide. Taurus, ruled by Venus, is all about comfort, beauty, and reliability. Their happy place involves things like warm lighting, a well-stocked kitchen, predictable plans, and friends who don't cancel last minute. Sagittarius, ruled by expansive Jupiter, is fueled by change, growth, and the thrill of the unknown. Their happy place might be the airport, a jungle trail, or halfway through a debate on philosophical theories. For Taurus, the chaos of Sagittarius can feel like an anxiety attack wrapped in a Hawaiian shirt. For Sagittarius, Taurus's calm control can feel like quicksand dressed in cashmere. It takes time, and a lot of deep breaths, for these two to even begin syncing up. But here's where it gets interesting. If they manage to not run screaming in opposite directions after their first weekend trip together, they each bring exactly what the other secretly needs. Sagittarius helps Taurus lighten up. Really lighten up. They show them that not everything needs to be meticulously planned, perfectly controlled, or reviewed thoroughly before purchasing. With Sagittarius around, Taurus starts saying yes to things they normally wouldn't, spontaneous concerts, a midnight drive, trying Ethiopian food, maybe even ziplining, though they'll need snacks first. Sagittarius brings spark and motion into Taurus's often slow and static world. In return, Taurus offers Sagittarius something they rarely find but deeply crave, grounding. While Sagittarius can go chasing freedom to the ends of the earth, they often don't know how to slow down and feel rooted. Taurus teaches them the beauty of stillness, the comfort of repetition, and the magic of a peaceful moment shared with someone you trust. They model a kind of loyalty and calm that Sagittarius doesn't always realize they've been missing, the sense that it's okay to stop running, just for a little while. But let's not sugarcoat it, this friendship takes serious effort. Sagittarius's blunt honesty can hurt Taurus's feelings without ever meaning to. They'll say things like, "Why are you so boring today?" and not realize they've just bruised the bull's soul. Taurus, in turn, can be stubborn, slow to adapt, and resistant to Sagittarius's ever-changing plans. They like what they like, and if you try to change it without warning, expect pushback, or worse, quiet passive aggression that lasts for days. Sagittarius might find this emotional stubbornness frustrating, while Taurus sees Sagittarius's flighty behavior as inconsiderate or immature. Communication styles are also vastly different. Sagittarius is all about big ideas, open-ended questions, and free-flowing conversation. They can talk for hours about philosophy, politics, travel, and abstract concepts. Taurus prefers conversations rooted in real-life issues, emotions, and shared experiences. They want to feel the connection, not just hear it. Taurus listens deeply, but they don't love when things stay in the clouds for too long. If they don't find common ground, Taurus may start to tune out, while Sagittarius keeps talking, unaware that their friend mentally checked out 3 topics ago. Still, when they find shared passions, their differences become a fascinating source of growth. Both signs love learning, just in different ways. Taurus learns through doing, feeling, building, and experiencing the tangible. Sagittarius learns through exploring, reading, discussing, and questioning everything. If they share a curiosity about something, art, history, music, food, they can embark on an adventure that feeds both their needs. Sagittarius brings the wild ideas, and Taurus makes sure the train ticket is actually booked. It's chaotic, it's hilarious, and it can work. The key to their success lies in flexibility, and that applies more to Taurus than Sagittarius. Sagittarius already knows how to bend. It's Taurus who will need to stretch a little, loosen the reins, and allow room for unpredictability. At the same time, Sagittarius needs to understand that not everything can be a whirlwind. Sometimes, sitting still, committing to plans, and following through is exactly what their scattered spirit needs, and Taurus is the perfect guide for that. Taurus plus Capricorn. This is the friendship equivalent of building a castle brick by brick, stone by stone, with zero shortcuts and a mutual understanding that the foundation matters more than the fireworks. When Taurus and Capricorn meet, there's a quiet but undeniable click, not loud or flashy, but firm and unshakable. Both earth signs, they're cut from the same grounded cloth, practical, dependable, and deeply committed to the people they allow into their lives. From the outside, they may not be the most expressive or socially dazzling pair, but on the inside? This friendship is rock solid, weatherproof, and built to last through decades, disappointments, and every changing season. Taurus, ruled by Venus, brings a steady warmth to the relationship, a love of comfort, tradition, and consistency that provides a calm counterbalance to Capricorn's relentless drive. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is all about discipline, structure, and ambition. They're the sign most likely to be working on their 5-year plan, even during a relaxing weekend brunch. While some might find Capricorn's focus intimidating, Taurus sees it as admirable. They respect hard work. They're drawn to people who show up and follow through. And Capricorn notices that Taurus isn't just present, they're reliable, in every sense of the word. Together, these two create a rhythm that works. Taurus offers Capricorn a place to rest, a reminder that life isn't only about climbing the next mountain, but also about enjoying the view. Capricorn, in return, challenges Taurus to stretch beyond the familiar and invest in their potential. They won't push in a flashy or aggressive way, but through subtle encouragement and leading by example. Capricorn helps Taurus see that stability doesn't have to mean stagnation, it can be a launch pad for greatness. Taurus reminds Capricorn that ambition without grounding leads to burnout. Both of these signs have deep respect for tradition and loyalty, and that shows up in the way they care for each other. They remember birthdays. They offer help without being asked. They show up early, stay late, and stick around when things get hard. There's a quiet, behind-the-scenes dedication in their friendship that doesn't scream for attention, but it's felt in every gesture. Taurus won't forget that time Capricorn offered practical support when they were overwhelmed. Capricorn won't forget that Taurus made space for them to vent without judgment after a career setback. These are the small, meaningful moments that stack up over years to create unshakable trust. Conflict between them is rare, but when it does arise, it tends to revolve around control and stubbornness. Taurus can be immovable when they feel pushed, and Capricorn can come across as rigid or emotionally distant when they're hyper-focused on a goal. If Taurus feels neglected or if Capricorn feels that Taurus is dragging their feet, tensions can simmer under the surface. But because both signs value maturity and long-term harmony, they usually find their way back through honest conversation and mutual respect. Neither is impulsive or quick to throw away a meaningful connection. What really sets this friendship apart is its long-term potential. Taurus and Capricorn are in it for the long haul. They aren't interested in surface-level socializing or flaky connections. When they choose each other, it's intentional. They're the kind of friends who start as coffee buddies at work and end up as lifelong confidants, the ones who check in during every holiday, remember each other's milestones, and send handwritten notes just because. It's the kind of friendship that grows more valuable with every passing year. Their shared love of quality over quantity also translates into how they spend time together. No need for over-the-top adventures or high-energy hangouts, they'd rather enjoy a quiet evening with great food, deep conversation, and plans for future collaboration. Whether they're starting a business, renovating a home, or simply trading financial advice, this duo thrives in practical, tangible efforts. Their bond isn't about hype, it's about trust, integrity, and results. Even their humor matches. While both can be serious in public, behind closed doors, Taurus and Capricorn share a dry, often sarcastic sense of humor. They love an inside joke. They roast each other with affection. And they know when to lift the mood with a perfectly timed comment. It's not loud laughter, it's the kind that sneaks up on you, the kind that feels earned, the kind that only comes from years of shared experience. Horoscope for June 1st. Aries. It's the first day of the month, and you're already plotting. Goals. Moves. Momentum. But today says, slow your roll. Feel before you build. What are you chasing, and is it still yours to chase? Your energy is valuable. Don't waste it proving what no longer fits. In love, take off the armor and just say it. The truth. The need. The fear. Vulnerability is not surrender. It's self-respect. In work, one smart pivot can save you months of unnecessary hustle. Don't double down on the old plan out of pride. Reinvent, boldly, but with care. Taurus. You're stepping into June with one foot in the past, and one hand still gripping something you should have dropped weeks ago. A belief, a person, a fear. Let it go. Not because it was nothing, but because you are becoming more. In love, stop choosing comfort over connection. If it's no longer growing, it's slowing you down. At work, you're being asked to trust a new process. And yes, it's unfamiliar. That's not danger. That's expansion. Start saying yes to what doesn't feel safe, but does feel real. Gemini. You're glowing with ideas, inspiration, and emotional static. June starts with a test. Can you choose what truly matters, or will you stay busy to avoid commitment? You're not indecisive, you're afraid of going all in. But going halfway is its own kind of failure. In love, stop flirting around the truth. Show up. Risk being misunderstood in the name of being known. At work, someone's noticing your brilliance. Don't dilute it. Claim it. The version of you that used to over-explain. Gone. Let your presence speak. Cancer. Today calls you home, to yourself. Your patterns. Your emotional weather. June begins with an internal inventory. What are you holding that's no longer yours? You've been emotionally responsible for too much, and it's time to reset. In love, don't confuse emotional labor with intimacy. Love shouldn't leave you emotionally overdrawn. In work, a creative pull is nudging you, but you'll miss it if you stay buried in old responsibilities. Make space. Make noise. Make something for you. You're allowed. Leo. This is not a day for proving. This is a day for being. June wants you raw, unpolished, present. You don't need a big entrance, you need a real one. In love, someone might be ready for a deeper version of you. Let them see it. If they can't hold it, they don't get the spotlight anymore. At work, you've been performing at full volume, but is it passion or pressure? Step back. Recalibrate. You're not chasing relevance. You're stepping into resonance. Virgo. June begins with a whisper from your intuition. Stop editing yourself to be palatable. Today's about realness over refinement. You don't need to have it all figured out to start. In love, someone might mistake your silence for indifference. Don't let them guess. Say what you feel, even if it's incomplete. Especially then. In work, it's time to stop tinkering and publish the draft. You don't need more data. You need to do the thing. Perfection is not protection. Action is. Libra. You've been managing balance, but at the cost of truth. June begins with a challenge: disrupt the peace if the peace is fake. In love, you've been tolerating a dynamic that feels light on depth. You want more. Say it. If they flinch, good. That's information. At work, your ideas are sharper than you think, but you've been waiting for approval before speaking. Don't. You're not here to blend in. You're here to reshape the atmosphere with beauty and boldness. Scorpio. You've changed, but your habits haven't caught up. June starts with emotional friction, the old you trying to play the new role. Today, let that go. In love, if you're pretending not to care to protect yourself, stop. That game is boring and you're too deep for shallow theater. Let someone in, not through silence, but through choice. In work, your intuition is screaming something you're trying to outstrategize. Stop. Listen. Move. You don't need all the data when you already have the truth. Sagittarius. You're ready for more, freedom, depth, meaning. But the path forward is not in motion. It's in ownership. You've been halfway out of something while pretending you're all in. June calls your bluff. In love, stop ghosting emotional tension. That brave face isn't fooling anyone, least of all you. Say what you want. Let it land. In work, you may be questioning everything. That's good. Stop building what no longer matches your beliefs. Pivot. The vision is shifting, let yourself grow into it. Capricorn. You've been doing what works. What's expected. What's stable. But June doesn't want that version of you. June wants the true one. The one with wild ideas and a soul that's tired of only being reliable. In love, stop carrying the connection like a job description. You're not the emotional manager. You're a whole person who deserves softness. In work, the long game is still working, but maybe it's time to reimagine the rules. You didn't come this far to stay this contained. Aquarius. You're in between logic and longing. Again. But June won't let you think your way through this one. Today, let your heart take the lead, even if it makes zero sense. In love, someone wants to get closer. You're tempted to pull away, not because they're wrong, but because they're real. Sit with that. In work, your unconventional path is starting to make sense, even to those who once questioned it. Keep building. You're not late. You're just original. Pisces. You're feeling it all, but today, don't just feel. Choose. What stays? What goes? June begins with clarity, not loud, but certain. In love, stop romanticizing the almost. You're not here to teach someone how to love. You're here to receive what you give, fully. In work, your creative vision is about to hit, but you need structure now. Not walls. Just a container. Make the dream real. You're not here to stay in the mist. You're here to rise from it. Taurus plus Aquarius. This is the cosmic definition of what could go wrong, or incredibly right. Taurus and Aquarius are so different on the surface, it's almost comical. Taurus is grounded, reliable, and deeply committed to comfort and tradition. Aquarius is rebellious, visionary, and allergic to anything that smells remotely like routine. Taurus wants a plan, a schedule, and a good pair of slippers. Aquarius wants a revolution, an unpredictable schedule, and probably forgot to wear matching socks. It's casserole versus kale ice cream. Vinyl records versus experimental synth. These two speak entirely different love languages, but if they can learn to translate, this friendship can become one of the most unexpectedly transformative bonds in the zodiac. Taurus, ruled by Venus, is motivated by beauty, sensuality, and stability. They build their lives like a well-structured playlist, soothing, balanced, curated with care. Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, the planet of innovation, unpredictability, and disruption, thrives on change, progress, and shaking up the system. They build their lives like an avant-garde playlist with glitchy beats and surprise jazz interludes. So, naturally, when they meet, there's confusion. Taurus wonders why Aquarius never seems to follow through. Aquarius wonders why Taurus seems so stuck in their ways. It's not exactly love at first vibe. But here's the twist, and it's a big one. Underneath their wildly different exteriors, Taurus and Aquarius both deeply value authenticity. They don't pretend. They don't play games. Taurus is real because they're rooted in what they trust. Aquarius is real because they refuse to conform to what they don't. Once they see that, a new kind of respect begins to form. Taurus starts to understand that Aquarius isn't flighty, they're future-focused. And Aquarius realizes that Taurus isn't boring, they're loyal, grounding, and exactly the kind of energy they never knew they needed. In many ways, this friendship is like learning a second language. Taurus and Aquarius have to decode each other's motivations. Taurus values presence, physical comfort, and emotional consistency. They show love by being there, remembering details, and staying steady through life's chaos. Aquarius values ideas, social impact, and intellectual freedom. They show love by challenging you, sharing visions of the future, and including you in their latest weird but brilliant passion project. At first, this disconnect can be frustrating. Taurus wants to feel the bond. Aquarius wants to understand it. But if they're willing to meet halfway, they discover an entirely new kind of connection. What makes this friendship uniquely valuable is the growth it demands from both sides. Aquarius forces Taurus out of their comfort zone, sometimes literally. They'll introduce them to new tech, niche subcultures, philosophical rabbit holes, and big, abstract conversations that leave Taurus blinking in quiet confusion. But over time, Taurus realizes they enjoy the mental stimulation. They start to see beyond what is, and dream about what could be. Aquarius expands Taurus's world, challenging their assumptions and helping them see routine not as security, but as limitation. Meanwhile, Taurus helps Aquarius come back down to earth, gently, but firmly. Taurus reminds them that dreams require structure. Ideas need execution. Community starts with showing up consistently, not just when inspiration strikes. Taurus teaches Aquarius the value of rest, presence, and doing one thing really well instead of chasing 15 possibilities all at once. In this way, Taurus becomes a quiet anchor for the ever-drifting Aquarius, not tying them down, but giving them a place to recharge between lightning strikes of inspiration. Challenges, of course, are inevitable. Aquarius can be emotionally detached, often prioritizing logic or the greater good over personal connection. Taurus may interpret this as cold or even unkind, especially when they're craving emotional reassurance. Aquarius might find Taurus too emotionally demanding or overly sentimental. They may see Taurus's need for consistency as a lack of ambition. These moments can cause emotional distance or frustration, and if not addressed, can lead to disconnection. But if both signs commit to understanding the why behind the other's behavior, they unlock a friendship that neither saw coming. Aquarius learns that emotional depth isn't weakness, it's courage. Taurus learns that change doesn't have to be chaotic, it can be creative. Over time, their friendship becomes a fusion of the familiar and the futuristic, the practical and the philosophical. Together, they stretch the limits of what friendship can look like. Taurus plus Pisces. This is the friendship equivalent of a handwritten letter tucked into a favorite book, thoughtful, tender, and timeless. Taurus and Pisces may come from different elements, earth and water, but together, they create a soothing, fertile space where connection isn't just possible, it's inevitable. This bond is less about grand gestures or big declarations and more about those quiet, meaningful moments that speak volumes, a knowing glance, an unexpected favor, the ability to sit together in silence without needing to fill it. At its heart, Taurus and Pisces share one sacred goal, emotional safety, and they both offer it to each other in a way that's deeply restorative. Taurus, with their grounded, Venus-ruled nature, brings a sense of calm, predictability, and presence that Pisces finds incredibly comforting. Pisces, ruled by Neptune, lives in a more fluid, imaginative realm, filled with dreams, intuition, and feelings that rarely come with instruction manuals. While Taurus builds their world brick by brick, Pisces paints theirs in watercolor, blurry, beautiful, and ever-changing. And yet, instead of clashing, these energies gently intertwine. Taurus offers structure without pressure. Pisces offers magic without chaos. Together, they create a world that feels both real and enchanted. The strength of this friendship lies in its emotional depth. Pisces is incredibly empathetic, often absorbing the feelings of those around them. They can be easily overwhelmed by the world's noise and intensity. Taurus becomes their sanctuary, a grounded presence who listens without rushing, who stays even when the waters get murky. Taurus doesn't try to fix Pisces' emotions, but they do offer stability and reassurance, which helps Pisces feel safe enough to open up even more. In return, Pisces helps Taurus tap into their softer side, the part of them that's often hidden under layers of pragmatism and routine. There's a gentle push and pull dynamic between them that promotes real growth. Pisces inspires Taurus to reach beyond the physical and material world, to explore creativity, art, music, and emotional expression in new ways. They introduce whimsy, wonder, and a sense of spiritual depth into Taurus's structured world. Meanwhile, Taurus helps Pisces stay anchored. They teach them that it's okay to dream, but it's also important to finish things, follow through, and protect their own energy. Pisces may drift, but Taurus will always hold the rope. Their shared love of comfort and beauty also brings them together in everyday life. These two can spend hours in their own little cocoon, cooking, listening to music, creating art, or simply relaxing in a cozy space filled with candles and cozy textures. They understand the importance of a peaceful environment and will often go out of their way to create it for each other. This isn't the friend you go skydiving with, it's the one who shows up with soup when you're sick, or sends a playlist that somehow says everything you need to hear without a single spoken word. But even the softest bonds face their challenges. Pisces can sometimes be too emotionally fluid, easily distracted, or lost in their own inner world. Taurus, who values reliability and consistency, may get frustrated when Pisces fails to follow through on plans or gets overwhelmed by emotion at seemingly random times. On the other hand, Taurus's tendency toward routine and caution may seem restrictive or even dull to Pisces, who thrives on inspiration and flow. If Taurus becomes too rigid or dismissive, Pisces may retreat emotionally, creating a gap that feels hard to cross. The good news. These two are both incredibly forgiving. Taurus, though stubborn, is deeply loyal to those they care about. Pisces, though sensitive, is willing to see the best in others even when disappointed. They may have moments of tension, usually rooted in miscommunication or emotional misalignment, but they rarely explode or implode. Instead, they drift apart for a moment, then come back together with even more understanding. Their friendship isn't about perfection, it's about the intention to keep showing up with kindness. Their emotional languages may differ, but both Taurus and Pisces speak from the heart, and that shared core is what keeps their friendship strong. They trust slowly, love deeply, and offer unwavering support once that bond is built. Over time, their friendship becomes a safe harbor, a space where they can be fully themselves without fear of judgment, pressure, or rejection. It's not a fast-paced or flashy connection, it's a slow bloom, delicate but deeply rooted. So, what did we learn about Taurus in friendship? They're loyal, steady, and built for long-haul relationships. Sure, they can be stubborn, but if you've earned a Taurus's trust, you've got a friend for life. Whether they're grounding an air sign, balancing fire, or building strong roots with fellow earth signs, Taurus brings something rare to the table: unwavering, unconditional presence. If this deep dive into Taurus friendship sparks something in you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out more Zodiac insights right here. And hey, got a Taurus in your life? Tag them and let them know how much you appreciate that steady bull energy. See you in the next one.